Thanks, JJ. Wow. Just feeling all the energies of everyone here. These frequencies are incredible. I definitely want to say thank you for having me here, for inviting me to this epic festival of consciousness, this collaboration of unity consciousness. It means a lot for me to be here. So thank you to everyone that's holding space watching and everyone that helped to create this. Thank you. So I'm really excited on this beautiful portal day, this solstice day, to dive right in and talk about crop circles. So for anyone that might not know what are crop circles, I'm going to go into how they are mysteriously created, different shapes and geometries that are found in the fields all over the world. So these are found in over 20 countries all over the world, especially in England, near historic castles and sacred sites. Here we go. Okay, let's get into it. Here we go. But they're found all over the world, right? So Australia, Italy, Germany, Switzerland, USA, these shapes are imprinted into the fields, and they're mostly found in wheat and canola and barley fields, but they're also found in all kinds of fields, even in the snow. And they became increasingly popular in the 70s, 80s, especially in the early 90s. They started really being reported by the media a lot. And many of them have been discovered with no logical explanation for how they were created, right? So this Julia set, huge crop circle, this spans over 300 feet in diameter. It's a spiral of 149 circles that was named after the French mathematician Gaston Julia. And you can see here this highway that's by Stonehenge, this sacred site. There was a cab driver that reported finding a beam of light, witnessing this beam of light come from the sky when this was reported found. And so since this is a popular site, many people, pilots, helicopters confirmed that this was made in only 15 minutes and that no one had been permitted in this part of the field. So this is a phenomena that's also researched by scientists and physicists that have found that electromagnetic energy is emanating from the center of these crop circles, and then it dissipates as you move outward, right? So a lot of technologies like cameras and car batteries, if they're near the crops when they first appear, it's reported that they just all of a sudden totally die or stop working with no explanation, right? And many of them, of course, also are proven to have been crafted by people. This one I really love. I'm going to go more into this one. But some of the most beautiful designs really are made by people, including skilled artists and channelers that go out into the fields at 2, 3, 4 in the morning when the veils are thin and are guided to create these epic designs like this. In pitch black night, they're creating these shapes. And some of these shapes, right, are advertisements that are made by people. This one was found just this year. And obviously this one is probably not made by the Arcturians or the Pleiadians, right? But some of these are just so beautiful. And so I want to go into some patterns, synchronicities that are found in these shapes. What I'm most compelled by is really the diversity of how different they all are. And there are thousands of crop circles. There are so many that keep appearing consistently, right? So I also want to touch on how I personally first got into researching crop circles myself and why I'm creating these shapes into colorful art. So about 5 years ago, a really amazing friend of mine suggested to me one day, JJ, if you're so interested in the extraterrestrials, I suggest you look at crop circles before you go to sleep. Okay, this is my friend G. She's an intuitive empath, starseed, Reiki healer, crystal energy expert who is all about empowering people and their soul mission. And so the first night that I took her advice and I looked through all these photographs, crop circles on Google, this was before I found this epic, world's largest, most organized, detailed archive of like all the crop circles ever, cropcirclescenter.com. Okay, you definitely gotta check this out. You might want to have like a notepad, something for this, because I'm gonna drop all kinds of stuff you can check out and details and everything. So anyway, so I want to share my first personal vivid dream experience that I had from looking at these shapes right before sleep. It's really important that you set an intention. And this is what I did when I did this. I said something like, I am ready, I'm open, I'm willing to learn what's really going on here. I'm ready to see the truth. Setting intentions, as many of the presenters have talked about so far, setting intentions is so important. So I woke up very early in the morning in total shock. My whole body, I was completely physically, emotionally, mentally jolted by my dream, right? We all have these different dimensions that we travel into when we all go to sleep. And so when something is very vivid, like what I had seen, what I saw was 3 tall ET beings. And when I made eye contact with the one in the middle, I woke up in shock. So nothing actually really happened in this first dream experience that I had. And I don't know why I didn't get like the cute short ones that a lot of people report seeing, is like to kind of ease into it. They see the short ones first. I don't know why, I've never seen them, but anyways, nothing really happened other than I was face to face and making eye contact with these beings that weren't human, but that were incredibly intelligent, right? So this is really enough to create a powerful fight or flight adrenaline response, and also xenophobia, which is just like a strong fear of the unknown. And this is something I'm incredibly grateful to have experienced this, because it's really a shift in consciousness. It's really an awareness that once you see or hear or feel something for yourself, that creates the experience for yourself, right? This is what triggers a remembrance of the truth. And then it just becomes an inner knowing for you. It's just something that no one can ever take away from you once you have these experiences. And so this is what I really like to inspire more people, anyone who's curious, to look into, to have experiences of their own, right? So anything that you see, hear, experience in person can really create this experience for you, right? So these are these are some books that I highly recommend, right? Dolores Cannon is an incredible, enormous amount of evidence for ET experiences and the realization of this multidimensionality that we all have. These are volumes and volumes of quantum hypnosis practice that I really recommend, as well as Barbara Marciniak. Totally recommend diving into these because they also contain a lot more information from these higher dimensional beings about crop circles, which is really cool. And so also for those who are musically inclined, right? I recommend listening to crop circle tones that are in Dr. Greer's CE5 app. This is an app designed as a meditation guide. CE5 is human facilitated contact with ETs, and I've done this many times on my own as well as in groups. This is how in my waking life in person, I've had many light ship experiences that are really beautiful. They're totally translucent. They usually make me cry, honestly, just from being overjoyed by the frequency and the energy and witnessing these things that materialize and dematerialize in the air. It's really incredible, right? So there are actually crop circle tones that are in this app. Highly recommend. So yeah, you know, this takes open-hearted curiosity and courage, this whole disclosure movement that we're in, right? When you see something that's as beautiful as a translucent light ship, it's really nothing like these structured military type UFOs. It's very different, you know, and seeing the diversity and the vastness and the difference of all these different layers of multidimensionality. This takes courage, right? Because it's so much. And it's not really like going into a battle kind of courage. This is more mental, emotional, spiritual courage, right? But it's really important that we awaken to this and that we know how powerful we are as creators, as channelers, as multidimensional beings, because we need to know, you know, right now in this time when there's a lot of manipulation and force and coercion happening, telling us what to put in our bodies, we need to remember what it means to be truly empowered beyond the 3D physical, looking beyond what we are told. So the reason that I create colorful art with these shapes, I'm going to show some of my creations here and what I do with these shapes. It's all about uplifting one another. It's all about co-creation and collaboration. And this is also a lot of inner child healing for me because this was my first love. What I loved to do was copy things in nature, plants and animals, and before all the programming of school, career, titles, okay, before all this came in, this is what I originally loved to do. So I love to create for other spiritual healers and people who are embodied in their mission, whether it's logos, banners, backgrounds for something, it's really anything. But everything that I choose, from the colors that I use or what date the crop was found in the field, how I might duplicate the shape and spin it around. Different shapes can be turned into these cool mandala effects that I really love. But yeah, everything I create is based on visions that I receive in meditation. Lights, colors, shapes. I see crop circles in meditation, usually the one that I'm working on at the time, but sometimes also I've seen one, I'll see one that I've never seen before, and then I'll be guided to find it later in some way. So I really feel that using these magnetic shapes and collaborating with other artists that have brilliant ideas and that can channel light language, like this one is different pieces of light language. It's not a crop circle, it's a tetrahedron, and has channeled codes from Lyra. This one really means a lot to me. This one was a really epic creation that really meant a lot to me. So this one also, the flower of life, right? This is very different from the competition survival mode type energy that we've been programmed into. So when we can uplift one another and empower one another as creators, this is a brilliant creator. You got to check out Renee. Um, Her light language is incredible. So also Photoshop, Illustrator, these things that I create with, I love to share, like, what I'm doing and how, we can empower one another with these technology tools instead of letting technology use us or dictate to us in what direction, how we focus. No, let's use it to create. Let's use it to uplift one another, empower one another, okay? And bring out what's unique about one another as well. Instead of just like fading and blending in, we gotta bring the rainbow, right? So okay, this one, this one. Okay. Okay, we're about to get into it. We get into it. This sacred triangle, the mind, body, spirit, gravity, space, and time. There's a part of this crop circle that is uneven with the rest of the triangle. So, from one perspective, you could say, oh, it's uneven. Someone made a mistake, this angle, right? But mathematicians and physicists have found when they measured this angle that it's exactly 19.47 degrees. And this angle measures the distances of sacred sites all over southern England. It also measures a specific place on Earth. If you project a line from the center core of the Earth out to the equator, and then move that line exactly 19.47 degrees north, you hit the exact latitude of Mauna Loa volcano in Hawaii. This is the largest known volcano on the Earth. It is the most powerful explosive hotspot of energy on the planet. So this is how Mother Earth herself is directing like a spiral of energy out to the surface of the Earth. And then the same thing with Jupiter, this great red spot of Jupiter that you can see here. It's the same thing. If you go from the center core of the planet, it's exactly 19.47 degrees from the center of the planet. And 1947 is also the year of the Roswell UFO crash incident, June 24th, 1947. So one more thing I would like to touch on very briefly about this crop circle. I can't say too much on this, but this triangle is known to be a trigger of communication for scientists in their subconscious intuition, in their inventing of anti-gravity devices and technologies. And that's absolutely all I can say about that, because it's not safe for this to be disclosed yet, unfortunately. But that is exactly what we are doing. That is what is happening. And as someone that has, done campaign direct action work for the climate crisis, I can tell you it's a grave issue and that it's something that is prophesized that is changing now. So, okay, this is the best book on crop circles. I said what I said. Okay, if you're going to get one book on crop circles, this is it. It is, if you're interested in the specifics, you have to get this book. It's incredible. Also, these are some epic folks to follow on the Instagram. Some of my favorite artists of crop circles are not listed on here because they wish to remain anonymous, and I respect that. But I'm also manifesting a shift in collective unity consciousness that someday might change. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. But let's also take a look at a pattern that I found myself. Okay, so this one, I found I was really drawn to the energies of this one, right? So this crescent moon shape that I've highlighted here, I'm going to point out. This has been found in about a dozen different designs, and the energy of these is so potent that I was very drawn into all these different messages and like all this stuff that I was receiving from these ones, right? And come to find out, all of these were created. I love this one. All of these were created by the same person. All of these were created by an artist. These were created by a human being. How cool is that? They're huge and they're so intricate. And they definitely carry a potent energetic signature. So, yeah, having your own experience with these, right? Finding your own patterns and synchronicities, especially with the dates, is really important. It's important that we realize that there are thousands of these. They're all so different and diverse. It's important that we open up to how we are able to channel if we align ourselves with authenticity and honesty and raise our vibration so that you have a vibrant energetic field, right? This is how you can receive these messages, not just from crop circles and shapes, of course, that's potent, but from the universe, right? Now, the messages, some crop circles that were created as advertisements have a really clear, direct message, like a lot of logos that we find in society, right? Um, but I believe that some of the most beautiful crop circles that are found are not so much about a specific message as they are a specific vibration, okay, activation. So I would like to shed light on, like, that's an example of an advertisement, right? That's really direct, clear. It's telling you to buy something, it's telling you something specific. But ones like this, it might not be as specific, but it's about vibration. So there's the fake ones that are made by people, there are the real ones that are made by the ETs. This whole duality, polarity, I would like to present a different perspective on this. Yes, the electromagnetic energies are different, but if we could adopt a new perspective on this that is rooted in unity consciousness and also recognizing our abilities as human beings, there's a form of art that's based on frequency that is revolutionizing how we use social media in the spiritual community. And this is light language and codes. And this is a page that I highly recommend. Check out my friend Kendra. They channel codes. This is a fantastic example of bringing down these energies, these cosmic energies that we have. Like our highest chakra is like way out somewhere in the universe, right? So we have these energies within us as well. If we can awaken to this, it's no coincidence that corona means crown, and the crown chakra of humanity is what is opening right now. So when someone composes a symphony, they might use a pen to draw out the lines and notes on the paper and put a time signature. But the pen in these things is not what is heartfelt and inspiring about the symphony, right? So, why is it when we discover these sacred geometries in the fields that were made by artists, the first thing we think of are wooden boards, string, and we ask them, we test them, like, how much time did it take? How many hours did it take? Time is an illusion. Your heart has the power to clear the confusion. No one owns the land. For every grain of sand on earth, there is a star in the multiverse. Sacred geometry is eternal, and so are we as multi-dimensional beings. Thank you. Okay, let's see. That's enough of that. How do I get back here? Haha, ta-da. Are there questions? If anyone has questions, if anyone would like to collaborate or has questions, I'm JJ at cropcirclesart. That's me. And again, I'm really grateful, really honored to have been a part of this collaboration. I really appreciate it. Thank you. If no one has questions, I'll just leave on one more thing. Sacred geometry, right, is the language of nature. And it's also the language that's within us. So we're all interconnected. When was the earliest crop circle ever found? Okay, to answer this, the earliest, like way back, we have to look into ancient history. Then we have to look into how far back, in the early 90s is when the media really started reporting them. But that's just the media, right? So ancient crop circles and art, the Avebury dragon. So this area, sorry, jumping all around, but the this part of southern England, there have been so many incredible designs there. I think I know of the one that you're speaking about, but to give you any specifics on that one, there's actually been quite a few different types of dragons and serpent type ones. This is one that I do a lot of handmade art as well. I don't know if it's like this one with the design, might be. But yeah, let's see. Any other questions? No? There are so many profound shapes that are found near the sacred sites in southern England. Avebury is definitely one that's near historic castles. I've yet to go there in person myself, but when I do, I definitely plan on sitting inside a crop circle and actually feeling these frequencies on another level. Why are they mainly in Europe? Yes, so the sacred sites that are within southern England, there's a lot that goes into this part of the land, even down to the science of the water, the currents that are under the land, and how it mixes with certain limestones and certain minerals of the earth that raises the potency of the frequency of the land itself. So when you put a shape, right, like when you put something in the shape of a circle, the circle amplifies what's inside. These shapes carry frequencies. So to imprint the frequencies into fields that are carrying potent currents and potent energies in the first place, this is how it's all interconnected. So yeah. This is another book I really recommend by Michael Glickman. Thank you so much, everyone here holding space, everyone that's a part of this collaboration and consciousness. You are loved, you are worthy, you are safe, you are free, and you are very multidimensional. So thank you. Okay, blessings.